Good evening, everyone. Today I want to talk about a deeply personal and transformative journey, the journey to becoming your best self. It's a journey that's uniquely yours, yet universal in its themes, struggles, and triumphs. It's a journey where the destination is never fully reached, because becoming the best version of yourself is not about perfection. It's about progress, growth, and embracing the beautiful complexity of who you are. The journey to becoming your best self begins with one fundamental realization: self-compassion is far more important than perfection. We live in a world that often places immense value on flawless appearances, success, and achievement. Whether through social media or societal expectations, we are constantly bombarded with images of perfection. This can lead us to believe that to be our best, we must be flawless, but nothing could be further from the truth. In reality, the path to becoming your best self requires embracing the imperfections that make us human. Self-compassion, at its core, means being kind to ourselves when we face challenges, make mistakes, or feel inadequate. It means acknowledging our flaws and difficulties without judgment, rather than criticizing ourselves for them. This is not an easy practice, especially in a culture that often encourages self-criticism. We tend to believe that being hard on ourselves will push us to do better, but this mentality can have the opposite effect. It can prevent us from fully embracing who we are, limiting our growth and diminishing our well-being. When we choose self-compassion, we are choosing to see ourselves through a lens of understanding and care. Instead of berating ourselves for imperfections, we treat ourselves with the same kindness we would offer a close friend. We stop demanding impossible standards and instead honor our journey, recognizing that growth and progress come from self-acceptance, not from perfection. By embracing self-compassion, we allow ourselves to take risk without fearing failure. We give ourselves the freedom to make mistakes, knowing they do not define our worth. This is crucial in the pursuit of becoming our best selves, because it's through trial and error that we learn, adapt, and ultimately grow stronger. When we can view our mistakes as opportunities for growth rather than as failures to be ashamed of, we shift our focus from what we lack to what we can learn. Furthermore, self-compassion nurtures resilience. Life is full of setbacks, and without compassion for ourselves, it's easy to become discouraged. But when we treat ourselves with care and understanding, we are more likely to bounce back from difficulties and keep moving forward. It's through this resilience that we ultimately build the strength needed to step into our fullest potential. Ultimately, self-compassion is the foundation upon which our best selves are built. It allows us to release the pressure of trying to be perfect and instead focus on being authentic. It encourages us to grow in ways that align with who we truly are, rather than trying to fit into a mold of who we think we should be. By embracing our imperfections, we free ourselves to live with greater joy, confidence, and a sense of purpose. Self-compassion isn't just a tool for growth, it is a vital ingredient in the journey to becoming the best version of ourselves. Vulnerability is often viewed as a weakness in a world that celebrates strength, success, and perfection. We are taught from a young age to hide our struggles, to keep our emotions in check, and to present a version of ourselves that is always confident, put together, and in control. However, vulnerability is, in fact, one of the greatest sources of strength on the journey to becoming your best self. It is through vulnerability that we connect with others, discover our true potential, and unlock the courage to embrace change. Being vulnerable means allowing ourselves to be seen as we truly are without hiding behind masks or pretending to be someone we are not. It involves embracing our insecurities, fears, and uncertainties, and showing up in the world with authenticity. In many ways, vulnerability is the courage to be imperfect, to stand in the face of discomfort, and to take risks even when the outcome is uncertain. In our quest for self-improvement, we often find ourselves holding back, afraid of how others might perceive us or afraid of failing. This fear can keep us from stepping into new experiences, from pursuing our dreams, or from expressing our true selves. Yet, vulnerability is the antidote to this fear. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we open ourselves up to growth. We step into the unknown with a sense of trust, knowing that it is through these moments of uncertainty that we learn and evolve. Vulnerability also deepens our connections with others. When we share our authentic selves, the parts that are messy, raw, and real, we invite others to do the same. It is through these genuine connections that we create bonds that are built on trust, empathy, and mutual understanding. Vulnerability fosters an environment where people feel safe to express themselves, where they feel seen and heard, and where they can share their struggles without judgment. These connections are not only enriching, but also essential to our emotional well-being, as they remind us that we are not alone on our journey. Moreover, vulnerability is essential for self-acceptance. When we embrace our vulnerability, we accept ourselves in our entirety, including our flaws and imperfections. We stop striving to be someone we are not and instead begin to honor the person we already are. This acceptance allows us to tap into our inner strength, as we no longer need to hide or protect ourselves. Instead of seeing vulnerability as something to be ashamed of, we recognize it as a powerful tool for self-discovery and growth. Ultimately, embracing vulnerability on the journey to your best self is not about weakness, but about courage. It takes courage to show up authentically, to take risks, and to allow ourselves to be seen in our truest form. When we embrace vulnerability, we open the door to endless possibilities for deeper connections, greater growth, and a more authentic and fulfilling life. Fear is one of the most powerful forces that can hold us back from becoming our best selves. It often manifests as self-doubt, anxiety, or the paralyzing thought that we're not good enough, capable enough, or worthy of success. We all experience fear in some form, whether it's the fear of failure, the fear of judgment, or the fear of the unknown. But what if we could learn to embrace fear instead of letting it control us? What if we recognize that fear is not something to avoid, but rather something to acknowledge and work with as we navigate our journey to becoming the best version of ourselves? The first step in overcoming fear is to recognize it for what it is, a natural and normal response to the unknown. Fear is a biological reaction, a survival mechanism that alerts us to potential dangers. While fear can be helpful in certain situations, warning us of real threats, it can also become a barrier to growth when it's rooted in irrational thoughts or exaggerated perceptions of risk. The key is not to eliminate fear, but to challenge the way we respond to it. Rather than allowing fear to dictate our decisions, we can choose to face it head on. This doesn't mean rushing recklessly into situations or ignoring the emotions that fear brings. Instead, it means acknowledging fear's presence without allowing it to paralyze us. By recognizing that fear is a natural part of the process, we can reframe our thinking and approach it with curiosity and courage. We can ask ourselves, what is this fear trying to teach me? Or what is the worst that could happen? And how can I handle it? Embracing fear means being willing to step outside of our comfort zones. Growth rarely happens in the comfort zone. It's when we push ourselves beyond familiar territory that we discover our true potential. Fear often shows up when we're on the brink of something new, whether it's starting a new project, pursuing a new relationship, or making a major life change. In these moments, fear can act as a signal that we are on the edge of transformation. Rather than turning back, we can use fear as a sign that we're exactly where we need to be. Furthermore, overcoming fear requires a shift in perspective. Instead of seeing fear as an enemy to be defeated, we can view it as a companion on our journey. Fear may never fully go away, but we can learn to live with it and use it as motivation to move forward. It's important to remember that fear doesn't define us. It's the actions we take in the face of fear that shape who we are and who we become. The choices we make every day have a profound impact on our journey to becoming the best version of ourselves. Life is a series of decisions, both big and small, and the direction we take is shaped by the choices we make in each moment. These decisions are not always easy, but they are always powerful. Whether it's how we respond to a challenge, how we treat others, or how we choose to prioritize our time, our choices determine the quality of our lives and the progress we make toward becoming the person we truly want to be. At the core of mindful decision-making is the ability to align our choices with our values. Every day, we are faced with a multitude of options, and it can be overwhelming to figure out which path to take. However, when we are clear about what matters most to us, whether it's integrity, kindness, growth, or creativity, we can make decisions that reflect those values. Our values serve as an internal compass, guiding us toward actions that are in harmony with who we want to become. By staying true to these guiding principles, we avoid being swept away by external pressures or distractions that might lead us off course. However, making mindful choices is not always straightforward. Often we are faced with decisions that come with uncertainty, doubt, or conflicting desires. It's easy to get caught up in the fear of making the wrong choice or to feel paralyzed by the possibility of failure. But the truth is that no decision is ever truly perfect. Every choice comes with its own set of challenges and opportunities, and sometimes the best we can do is to choose the option that feels most aligned with our purpose, even if we are uncertain about the outcome. The key is to make decisions with intention, being mindful of the impact they will have not only on our future, but also on our mental and emotional well-being. Additionally, mindful choices require self-awareness. To make decisions that serve our growth, we must first understand our needs, desires, and limitations. This means taking the time to reflect on who we are and where we want to go. Self-awareness allows us to step back and evaluate our options from a place of clarity, rather than from a place of fear or impulse. It helps us recognize when we are making choices out of habit, comfort, or external pressure, rather than from a place of conscious, intentional desire. Making mindful choices also means being willing to accept responsibility for the decisions we make. It's easy to blame others or external circumstances when things don't turn out the way we hoped, but true growth comes when we own our choices. This sense of accountability allows us to learn from our mistakes and adjust our course when necessary. It empowers us to make changes, to correct our paths, and to keep moving forward no matter the challenges we face. Ultimately, the journey to our best selves is a cumulative process of making conscious choices that reflect our values and support our growth. By embracing the power of mindful decision-making, we take control of our lives and shape our futures. Each decision, no matter how small, becomes a stepping stone toward the person we aspire to become. Establishing healthy boundaries is one of the most essential practices on the journey to becoming your best self. In a world that often demands our time, energy, and attention from every direction, it's easy to lose sight of our own needs and well-being. Whether it's work, family, friends, or social obligations, there are constantly people and situations that require something from us. Without boundaries, we can quickly become overwhelmed, stressed, and disconnected from our true selves. Boundaries are not walls that separate us from others. Rather, they are the invisible lines that protect our energy, time, and values. They allow us to show up as our most authentic selves, maintaining balance while still being present for others. At its core, setting boundaries is about knowing and honoring what is acceptable for us, both emotionally and physically. This begins with understanding our needs, what drains us, what replenishes us, and where we need space. Boundaries help us protect our mental and emotional health by ensuring that we don't overextend ourselves. Without boundaries, we risk burnout, resentment, and losing touch with our own priorities. The first step in setting healthy boundaries is to recognize that our needs are just as important as the needs of those around us. It's not selfish to say no or to set limits. In fact, it's a necessary act of self-care and self-respect. Boundaries are also crucial in maintaining the quality of our relationships. When we fail to set boundaries, we inadvertently enable unhealthy dynamics, where we may feel taken advantage of, disrespected, or emotionally drained. Healthy boundaries create space for mutual respect, ensuring that relationships are built on understanding and reciprocity. By being clear about our limits, we teach others how to treat us, and we also give them the freedom to express their own boundaries. This creates a foundation of trust and respect, allowing relationships to thrive without the burden of unspoken expectations or resentment. Setting boundaries can be difficult, especially if we are used to putting others' needs before our own, or if we fear conflict or rejection. However, it's important to remember that boundaries are not about rejecting others, they are about protecting ourselves. Establishing boundaries is an act of self-love, ensuring that we don't lose ourselves in the process of caring for others. When we allow ourselves to say no, we open up the possibility to say yes to what truly matters, whether that's time for rest, focusing on personal goals, or nurturing meaningful connections. Furthermore, boundaries are not static, they can evolve as our lives change. As we grow and discover new aspects of ourselves, we may find that our limits shift. This flexibility allows us to adapt while maintaining our sense of self. As we learn to communicate our boundaries clearly and confidently, we also become more attuned to the needs of others, creating a healthy balance of give and take in all our relationships. Failure is often seen as something to be avoided at all costs, a negative event that marks a setback in the pursuit of success. However, in the journey to becoming your best self, failure is not something to fear or shy away from, but something to embrace. Failure is an essential part of growth, an inevitable step on the path to improvement, and a critical tool for learning. Every successful person has experienced failure in some form, and it is through these failures that they have gained the knowledge, resilience, and wisdom to move forward. When we experience failure, it can feel devastating. It often brings up feelings of inadequacy or disappointment, and it may challenge our sense of self-worth. It's easy to become discouraged and wonder if we're truly capable of achieving our goals. However, it's important to understand that failure is not a reflection of our value or abilities. It is simply an experience from which we can learn. In fact, failure often teaches us more than success ever will. It shows us what doesn't work, and through that, it brings clarity about what does. Each failure offers valuable feedback and insights that help us make better choices in the future. By reframing failure as a lesson rather than a defeat, we can shift our mindset and approach challenges with greater courage and perseverance. Failure is also an opportunity to build resilience. It is in the face of adversity that we discover our true strength. When we fail, we are given the chance to pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and try again. This process of bouncing back is what strengthens our emotional and mental fortitude, helping us become more adaptable in the face of future challenges. The ability to recover from failure, to keep going even when things don't go as planned, is one of the most important qualities we can develop in our pursuit of becoming our best selves. Additionally, failure can open up new paths and possibilities. Sometimes when we fail, it forces us to reconsider our approach, to think creatively, or to pivot in a new direction. What may initially seem like a setback can turn out to be a blessing in disguise, redirecting us toward a more fulfilling and authentic path. Some of the most innovative ideas and breakthroughs have emerged from moments of failure as they force us to think outside the box and find new solutions. Learning to accept and embrace failure as a natural part of the growth process allows us to take risks without the paralyzing fear of making mistakes. We no longer need to worry about being perfect or achieving instant success. Instead, we can focus on the journey itself, knowing that every failure is simply a stepping stone toward greater understanding and improvement. In fact, failure helps us clarify our goals, develop perseverance, and sharpen our skills. It teaches us that success is not linear and that setbacks are not the end, but a necessary part of the ongoing process of becoming the best version of ourselves. Ultimately, failure is a teacher, not an obstacle. It reminds us that growth is not always smooth or predictable, but is built on the lessons we learn when things don't go as planned. When we learn to embrace failure with openness and curiosity, rather than fear or shame, we unlock the resilience, creativity, and strength needed to continue growing and evolving on our journey to our best self. Self-awareness is a critical aspect of the journey to becoming your best self. It is the ability to observe and understand your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, and to recognize how they influence your actions and decisions. Self-awareness goes beyond simply knowing what we like or dislike. It's about understanding the underlying motivations, fears, and desires that shape our choices and how we interact with the world. The awareness is a powerful tool because it allows us to take control of our lives and make intentional choices that align with our true values and goals. At its core, self-awareness helps us to connect with who we truly are. Many people go through life operating on autopilot, reacting to situations without fully understanding why they react the way they do. By becoming more self-aware, we can break free from automatic responses and begin to act with purpose. We can ask ourselves why we feel a certain way in a particular situation, or why we behave in certain patterns, and in doing so, we uncover valuable insights that can lead to positive change. Self-awareness allows us to become conscious of our strengths and weaknesses, and it gives us the clarity to focus on areas for growth. Self-awareness also plays a key role in improving relationships. When we are aware of our emotions and how they affect our interactions with others, we can communicate more effectively, set healthier boundaries, and respond to others with greater empathy. Without self-awareness, we may find ourselves reacting out of habit or emotion, which can lead to misunderstandings or conflicts. By tuning into our feelings and recognizing how our internal state influences our behavior, we can navigate relationships with greater understanding and compassion. Self-awareness helps us take responsibility for our actions and encourages us to approach others from a place of kindness rather than defensiveness or projection. Moreover, self-awareness allows us to set more meaningful goals and pursue them with greater determination. When we have a clear understanding of who we are, what motivates us, and what holds us back, we can create goals that are aligned with our true passions and values. This alignment makes our goals more achievable and fulfilling because they are connected to our deeper sense of purpose. Self-awareness also enables us to track our progress more effectively, making adjustments along the way when we encounter obstacles or setbacks. With this heightened awareness, we can stay focused on what truly matters and avoid distractions that may lead us off course. Developing self-awareness requires introspection and reflection. It means regularly checking in with ourselves, asking questions like, how am I feeling right now? Or why did I react that way in that situation? Journaling, meditation, and mindfulness practices are all excellent tools for cultivating self-awareness. These practices help us slow down and become more in tune with our inner world, giving us the space to observe our thoughts and feelings without judgment. Over time, this practice of reflection deepens our understanding of ourselves and allows us to make conscious decisions that bring us closer to the person we want to become. Ultimately, self-awareness is a transformative practice that can enhance every aspect of our lives. It empowers us to take ownership of our actions, relationships, and goals, and it encourages us to live in alignment with our authentic selves. By developing self-awareness, we not only gain a clearer understanding of who we are, but we also unlock the ability to grow, evolve, and thrive on our journey to becoming our best selves. Gratitude is one of the most powerful practices in the journey to becoming your best self. It has the ability to shift our perspective, improve our well-being, and bring us closer to the present moment. In a world that often emphasizes what we don't have or what we want to achieve, gratitude invites us to focus on what we already possess, our strengths, our relationships, and the countless blessings in our lives. When we cultivate a practice of gratitude, we begin to see life through a lens of abundance rather than scarcity, and this shift can have a profound impact on our personal growth and happiness. At the core of gratitude is the simple act of recognizing and appreciating the good things in our lives, both big and small. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of daily life and overlook the things that bring us joy and fulfillment. However, when we make a conscious effort to practice gratitude, we begin to notice all the positive aspects of our lives that we may have taken for granted. Whether it's a kind word from a friend, the beauty of nature, or a moment of peace amidst chaos, gratitude encourages to pause and acknowledge the blessings that surround us. One of the most significant benefits of gratitude is its ability to shift our mindset. Instead of focusing on what we lack or what is going wrong, gratitude helps us focus on what is going well and what we already have. This shift in focus leads to greater contentment and a deeper sense of fulfillment. Research has shown that people who regularly practice gratitude experience higher levels of happiness and lower levels of stress and depression. Gratitude also promotes positive emotions such as joy, love, and hope, which are essential for personal growth and resilience. By recognizing and appreciating the good in our lives, we invite more positivity and peace into our daily experiences. Gratitude is also a powerful tool for strengthening relationships. When we express gratitude toward others, we not only show them that we value them, but we also reinforce the positive behaviors and qualities that we admire. Whether it's a thank you note, a heartfelt compliment, or simply taking the time to acknowledge someone's effort, acts of gratitude foster deeper connections and create a sense of mutual appreciation. Gratitude helps us move beyond expectations and take notice of the ways in which others contribute to our lives, creating an environment of kindness, support, and love. Moreover, gratitude enhances our resilience. Life is filled with challenges, setbacks, and moments of adversity. When we face difficult times, it can be easy to focus on what's wrong or what we've lost. However, practicing gratitude during tough moments allows us to find strength and perspective. It helps us see the lessons in our struggles and reminds us that even in hardship, there are still things to be grateful for. Whether it's the support of loved ones, the opportunity to learn from the experience, or simply the fact that we made it through, gratitude allows us to face difficulties with a sense of hope and resilience. Incorporating gratitude into our daily lives doesn't require grand gestures. It can be as simple as taking a moment to reflect on the positive aspects of the day or starting a gratitude journal. By making gratitude a regular practice, we create a habit that can transform our outlook on life. As we cultivate this practice, we become more attuned to the blessings around us and more present in the moment, leading to greater peace, joy, and fulfillment. Ultimately, gratitude is a key ingredient in the journey to becoming our best selves, as it fosters a mindset of abundance, strengthens relationships, and enhances our overall well-being. Self-compassion is an essential practice in the journey to becoming your best self. It is the act of treating yourself with kindness, understanding, and patience, especially during times of struggle, failure, or when you fall short of your own expectations. Many people are quick to offer compassion to others, yet they are often harsh and unforgiving toward themselves. Self-compassion is about recognizing that you are human and imperfect, just like everyone else, and giving yourself the same care and empathy that you would offer a friend in need. Embracing self-compassion allows us to build resilience, improve our emotional well-being, and create a more positive relationship with ourselves. One of the key aspects of self-compassion is understanding that it's normal to face challenges, make mistakes, and experience moments of weakness. We often hold ourselves to unrealistic standards, expecting perfection in everything we do. When we inevitably fall short, we may become our own harshest critics, beating ourselves up for our perceived failures. However, self-compassion encourages us to release this self-judgment and instead respond with gentleness. It's about recognizing that we are worthy of love and care even when we don't get everything right. Instead of viewing our mistakes as failures, self-compassion invites us to see them as opportunities for growth, learning, and self-improvement. Practicing self-compassion also involves acknowledging our pain and suffering without trying to deny or suppress it. Life is filled with ups and downs, and we all face difficulties at some point. When we experience emotional pain, disappointment, or frustration, it can be tempting to push those feelings aside or tell ourselves that we should just get over it. However, self-compassion allows us to honor our feelings and validate our experiences. Rather than minimizing or ignoring our emotions, we offer ourselves the space to feel them fully, knowing that it's okay to struggle and that we don't have to be perfect all the time. By allowing ourselves to feel without judgment, we can begin to heal and move forward with greater clarity and peace. Self-compassion is also deeply connected to the way we treat our physical health. It's easy to become critical of our bodies when we don't meet certain ideals or when we face health challenges. However, practicing self-compassion means accepting our bodies as they are and treating them with care and respect. This includes listening to our body's needs, prioritizing rest, eating nourishing foods, and engaging in activities that make us feel good. Just as we would comfort a loved one who is sick or tired, we can learn to extend that same care to ourselves without guilt or shame. Another important aspect of self-compassion is learning to speak to ourselves with kindness and encouragement. Often, our inner dialogue is filled with negative self-talk and criticism, which can erode our self-esteem and sense of worth. Self-compassion invites us to reframe this dialogue, replacing harsh words with affirming and loving ones. Instead of saying, "I'm not good enough" or "I'll never succeed," self-compassion encourages us to say, "I am doing my best, and that's enough," or "I am capable of growth and change." By shifting our self-talk, we begin to build a more supportive relationship with ourselves. Ultimately, self-compassion is a powerful tool for personal growth and transformation. It allows us to accept ourselves fully, embrace our imperfections, and face life's challenges with resilience and grace. When we practice self-compassion, we are better able to navigate the ups and downs of life with a sense of peace and understanding. We become more forgiving of ourselves and others, and we create space for growth, healing, and progress. In the journey toward becoming our best selves, self-compassion is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It is the foundation upon which we can build a life of authenticity, joy, and fulfillment. Embracing change is a fundamental aspect of becoming your best self. Change is inevitable in life, and yet many of us find ourselves resisting it, fearing the discomfort or uncertainty that comes with it. Whether it's a shift in career, a change in our personal life, or an internal transformation, change can feel intimidating. However, the truth is that growth cannot occur without change. Every step toward becoming a better version of ourselves requires us to let go of old habits, beliefs, and ways of thinking that no longer serve us, and to make room for new experiences, opportunities, and perspectives. The resistance to change often stems from fear of the unknown. We are creatures of habit, And when faced with the possibility of change, our natural inclination is to cling to what we know. It feels safer to stay within our comfort zones, even if we are unhappy or unfulfilled. However, growth only happens when we challenge ourselves to step outside of these zones and confront the discomfort that accompanies change. Change requires us to take risks, to trust ourselves in the process, and to embrace the uncertainty that comes with moving forward. By welcoming change, we allow ourselves to evolve and become more resilient, adaptable, and open to new possibilities. One of the most powerful aspects of embracing change is the opportunity for personal reinvention. Life is constantly evolving, and so are we. Every day offers a new chance to redefine who we are, what we want, and how we engage with the world. When we embrace change, we open ourselves up to new opportunities for growth, whether it's learning new skills, adopting new perspectives, or finding new passions. This flexibility allows us to reinvent ourselves in ways that are more aligned with our true desires and values. Instead of being bound by past experiences or identities, we can create new versions of ourselves that reflect who we are becoming, not who we once were. Change also fosters resilience. As we navigate the challenges and uncertainties that come with change, we learn how to cope with adversity and develop a deeper sense of inner strength. Each time we face change, we grow more capable of handling future challenges. Resilience comes from our ability to adapt and thrive despite the obstacles in our path. By embracing change, we become more flexible and resourceful, learning to bend without breaking. We discover that we are more capable than we realize and that we have the power to weather any storm. Furthermore, embracing change encourages us to let go of the past and make room for the future. Holding on to old stories, regrets, or grudges can prevent us from moving forward and living fully in the present. Change allows us to release these attachments and free ourselves from the weight of what no longer serves us. It invites us to forgive ourselves for past mistakes, to accept our experiences as part of our journey, and to look ahead with optimism and hope. By releasing what is no longer relevant or helpful, we create space for new experiences, new relationships, and new opportunities that are more in alignment with the person we are becoming. Ultimately, embracing change is about trusting the process of life and trusting ourselves. It's about having the courage to face uncertainty and to move forward even when the path ahead is unclear. Change is not always easy, but it is necessary for growth. When we embrace it with an open heart and mind, we unlock our true potential and create the conditions for lasting transformation. The journey to becoming our best selves is not a straight line, it is a dynamic, ever-evolving process. By embracing change, we give ourselves the freedom to grow, learn, and become the person we are meant to be. In conclusion, the journey to becoming our best selves is not a destination, but an ongoing process of growth, self-discovery, and transformation. It requires us to embrace the complexities of life with an open heart and a resilient spirit. From recognizing the power of vulnerability to understanding the importance of setting healthy boundaries, each step along the way challenges us to let go of old patterns and beliefs, to be kinder to ourselves, and to face the discomfort of change with courage. Through self-awareness, gratitude, self-compassion, and the acceptance of failure as a stepping stone, we unlock the potential within us to lead lives that are authentic, fulfilling, and meaningful. As we embrace change and evolve, we begin to build a deeper connection with ourselves and others, fostering relationships rooted in love, trust, and mutual respect. Ultimately, becoming our best selves is about continually striving to live in alignment with our values and aspirations. It's about honoring our journey, no matter how messy or imperfect it may be, and recognizing that every challenge, every success, and every failure contributes to the person we are becoming. When we show up for ourselves with authenticity and compassion, we create the conditions for growth and fulfillment, not just for ourselves, but for those around us. Let us remember that the path to our best selves is not a linear one, but a dynamic and ever-evolving adventure that holds the promise of deeper wisdom, greater strength, and an ever-expanding capacity to love and be loved. So as you continue on this journey to your best self, remember that it's not about achieving perfection. It's about embracing who you are right now and showing up as your authentic self. It's about being vulnerable, being courageous, and being committed to your own growth. The path isn't easy, but it is worth every step. Thank you.